starting to have better discernment?
Now, yes. I mean, you know, we had this whole story going on today with the whole blue chicken cult and how people, you know, there's a couple of channels like Unirock and CW Chanter came out with some things that the blue chicken cult were doing and operating behind the scenes to do hit jobs on people. It was like hit jobs on me. And, you know, Richard Dolan and other people, and you know, their conversations came out. It's almost like it's a little like Watergate. You know, I'm calling it Doxxgate. But you know, Corey Goode and the Blue Chickens, of course, we've done a lot of reporting on them lousing up the secret space work and coming out with these stories. And he's a galactic ambassador and all this kind of junk. But what I do think is interesting that was kind of data dumped to those guys was that these in the back rooms, you know, in these Facebook groups, in these private Facebook groups, they have these things called task force, you know, so the Sphere Being Alliance task force and the Above Majestic task force, and they send these people out. And then, you know, I think it is quite important when this happens because people inside those groups, they get disgusted with the kind of hit jobs that the cult makes them do. And, you know, there are things in there instructing them to do hit jobs on me and Walter Bosley and Richard Dolan. And, you know, I mean, it's just embarrassing the way that they talk. And their whole thing is they're trying to protect this cult because, you know, they run out of gas. They run out of stories about blue chickens. And so we're in a, you know, a totally different paradigm. So to answer your question, are we getting better discernment now? It's things like that. You know, when you think a couple of years ago that people were buying that kind of junk, and I think we're going to look back on a lot of the Q stuff that way too, that people, you know, they're sort of getting a sense now that a lot of these things are either marketing ops or intel psyops. And either way, we're getting squeezed in the middle. And we have to have a higher threshold for the truth. And that's where, you know, things like dark journalism come in.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have to say, in relation to that data dump from Chanter and Unirock, which is quite remarkable, because it shows those private Facebook groups scheming to take down people. And, you know, they even, they had a data dump of the audio. So the woman was giving kind of an overview and she's like, we have to do more to get that darn dark journalist.
Let me play you two last things, which are going to be audio recordings of the woman that doxed me and my father. Okay. So I'm about to play you audio recordings of the woman who doxed my father. You ready?
Thus far, Corey Goode had the idea for the Titanic one with Yurka. So that was one, and that's targeting him. And then the other would be targeting, the other shills and dark journalists, kind of open to ideas there. It sounds like you've already done a really great one, Ron. I can't wait to see it.
How excited. How happy she is. That's the voice of joy. The woman who doxed me and my 85-year-old father, right? Who's like basically, you know, had enough. You know what I mean? Hold on, bear with me. There's another one. I got another recording for you. Hold on. See if this is, there we go.
Can anyone post that article in Fade to Black? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. And that's the one group we'd really help to have. Anyone, please. Thank you. Deborah's not doing it. Anyone, Rob, just forward that on-seller article, please. Fade to Black, I can't do it because I'm too close. Thank you so much. I love you guys. This guy's really ticking me off. Richard, thank you. Anyone, please.
And I should explain that Joy is this woman who is kind of Corey Goode's hatchet man, hatchet woman in this case. And she's the one who's leading all the memes. So when you see all those weird memes about me dressed up as a CIA officer or in the Air Force or whatever, or when you see Richard Dolan and they put him next to like Yurka from Gaia and they do all this stuff like Dolan is part of the cabal. Yeah. That's all her. She's cranking it out. And what's great about the data dump on those two things is they show them talking like, is this hard enough? You know, did this get the reaction that we needed? And she's sitting there directing the whole exercise. Now, what's interesting is, of course, she's supposed to be like a psychic love and light. I'm going to give you a reading.
Yeah, that's what her YouTube channel espouses. All this smiley, I'm just your neighborhood psychic, you know. covering, but come on, people.
You're a Prussian agent. Admit it.
Yeah, I'm a Prussian agent, I'm sure, yeah. Or a Saudi agent.
Saudi. Hey, you're a Saudi gun runner, goddamn you.
God.
Hey, they used to just what did they used to say about me? Oh, he's Illuminati. Now they have to get elaborate. It's like arms, I'm an arms runner.
What's interesting about that, and I hope their agents who are watching, their little sneaky representatives who are paying attention to this,
Yes.
When you start accusing people of things like that, you are making damn serious legal allegations, okay?
Yeah.
And the FBI and the NSA can find you no matter what your little clever screen name is. They can find you and they can say, oh, you've accused Daniel List of being an arms dealer. You've accused a military officer and a former federal agent of being associated with Saudi's arms dealers.
Yeah.
What's your evidence?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have any? By the way, that's a felony accusation, a false allegation like that. So they need to shut up with stuff like that. It's too late already because they've already put that stuff out there. But
that's an excellent point. Yeah.
Saying you're Illuminati and saying you're cabal, that's okay. Ha ha ha. But when they say this arms dealer stuff, this weird Saudi agent thing, they're in trouble.
Right. Like if you guys, what they were good at is saying he has vampire eyes or something, okay, you're off on your weird little trip. But
werewolf fingers.
No, they was stepped over the line when they crossed it all as a gang, and when they went off the cliff was when they doxed Joe from the Carolinas.
Yeah.
He's a healthcare worker and he works with cancer patients, and they were advising their people to flood his place of work with harassing phone calls. That was the bridge too far, and they've gone downhill ever since.
A few years back, even that dastardly Bill O'Reilly, who used to be on Fox,
yes,
he went after this young college knucklehead who had hacked his website or his email or something, and I believe that kid was charged and convicted.
Yes.
Now, if I know O'Reilly was a big guy at that time, but if that kid anyway, interrupted. Where was I? Oh, the O'Reilly thing. Now, if he can get that kid convicted, haven't these guys with harassing Joe at his job and all these other things, is anybody turning this stuff over to the authorities? Yes,
actually. I've heard now 2 solid sources that there are 2 cases pending on this. And here's what's interesting. In Joe's case, it's a violation of the HIPAA laws because healthcare workers are protected. So they made the mistake there, and they got little, Corey's kid, Jordy, to go out there and do it and promote now what's interesting, they got him to go out there and promote the docs, and that's why we did that whole no docs thing. But in this, what we find out is that the woman who was running it, the account, he picked up the account supposedly randomly and ran with it and was like, oh, I found this random account that said it, which had started up that day. And it was his friend there, this woman, Joy, who had put this together. So they're a pretty despicable group, as we know, but now it's on record and out there. And I do recommend Unirock's report on it was excellent. Chanter's report with the data dump, excellent. By the way, there's more to come on that. And those guys are just in a heap of trouble, as usual.